Hi, welcome to the video. My name is Win. So in this video, I want to talk about how to become more confident, how to have more confidence as an INTJ. And using the cognitive functions in the stack to explain how an INTJ can become more confident and how can an INTJ increase the contribution. So there are 4 C's in this model. So as INTJs, we drive with NI, meaning our dominant function is NI, which is introverted intuition. And then the secondary function or the auxiliary function is the what's called extroverted thinking, TE, right? So my channel is called Insights into Impact, meaning turning insights, which is part of what NI does, is generate insights from everything that's been learning and working in the background, and using those insights to turn into impact using extroverted thinking to implement those ideas and insights that you have to have an impact in the world, right? That's why I think INTJs are the most, one of the most rarest types, but when they are functional and mobilized, they can have a great, I guess, impact on the world. So which is why I'm motivated and inspired to help other INTJs. You know, I'm myself an INTJ because, through my own struggles and challenges, not understanding myself, and then finding out, being as an INTJ, finding out that I'm an INTJ, and then using all the functions and the way that I use them to really realize I'm a transformational coach as well. So with the knowledge that I have around people and, I guess transformational principles, healing, to really understand how INTJ works. So that's what I'm sharing with you. So creativity. So in the NI, the process, the driver, right? The dominant process, the dominant mental process, the cognitive function, which is also called mental process, is about creativity because it has the ability to detach what we call going meta. Going meta means going above and beyond what is apparent and what is, I think, immediate, right? So going meta can give you different insights and perspective, right? In the personality hacker term, they call it perspective, which is I think a great term for NI, because that's what NI does, is it can remove itself from I think the person that's using it, and then looking at a problem or the problem that you were trying to solve from different perspectives to I guess see different perspectives and really see the solution that most other processes can't generate, basically. So NI is the creativity process. It's I call it creativity, right? So there are 4 C's here: creativity, and then competence. Competence is when you're actually practicing a skill to become competent. So competent and confidence. So confidence is a feeling process, right? How you feel confident. So that's how I see as FI, the introverted feeling, which is in the tertiary position, right? So the tertiary position and the auxiliary position are always linked. So this is called polarity in by Antonia Dodge from Personality Hacker. So I think it's a great term. Polarity just means that the functions are at the end of the opposite dichotomies, meaning thinking and feeling, and then at the opposite end of the flip side of the opposite ends of orientation, meaning introversion and extroversion, or introverted and extroverted function. So extroverted thinking and introverted feeling are both, I guess, at the end of the dichotomy. It's called polarity. And that has the link between how I see as a link in that confidence and competence is meaning you are following through on your plan and practicing the skill to implement your ideas, right? I think most INTJs struggle with taking their ideas out and really implementing and really setting goals and implementing and planning and actually getting a result in the real world. It's because of the confidence piece through the FI. So to really have the confidence, you need to be competent. So it's about practicing and getting, so that way it's also called a loop, right? The way that I see it. Generally, that's not how the loop is defined. But for this model, for you to really get the impact and really feel confident, is based on your competence in certain skills that you're practicing, that you are wanting to use to produce real world results, right? So currently my video making is something I'm trying to get competent in, right? So the more I practice and do more videos, make more videos, the more I'll feel confident about making more videos. Whereas if I don't make video to practice to get better, then my confidence will not increase, right? So the last letter is, the last C is courage. That's based in SE, based in body. So courage, most people, I think, will probably think that it's something that you have or don't have. I see courage as a verb, right? You do courage, because courage is based in the moment, right now. Because when you're in your head, you're constantly, thinking about the past or thinking about the future. So thinking about the past, feeling guilty, or thinking about the future, feeling worry, right? Anxiety. So if you're in your head, in your mind, like in your NI, constantly future projecting, then it creates worry, but you can't take action. So both TE and SE are both action functions, right? Meaning it's a judgment function. It's something to do with the external world, right? SE is a learning function, a perceiving process. But SE can also mean that we are engaging in our body in the present. So courage comes from taking action in the present when you are not thinking about the future or the present. So you use NI to plan, to envision your future. And then you use TE to implement those actions, those plans that you came up with using NI. And then SE is when you're in the present moment in your body. So something that INTJ struggle, what's something that, excuse me, something that most INTJs or most INJs, that will include INFJs and INTJs, right? Because SE is the inferior function, meaning the body, I guess these, we are generally in our head, NI, because that's our dominant process. We're generally detached from our body, which is SE, right? Which is why we miss certain things like the details around us most of the time. If we don't pay attention, if we're not present. So for me personally, and for most INTJs I've talked to, they have general anxiety when they're in their head. It's like for me, a healthy way of engaging SE, engaging my body, is to exercise every morning, to use my body in a present way, to engage my body, doing exercise at the gym or whatever it is for you. But for me, that's what I have to do to be present in my body. If I don't do that, I generally go through my day with anxiety, because it's kind of energy that's looping in my head, and that's something not like grounded in my body. So when I'm grounded in my body, when I exercise, I generally don't have that anxiety throughout the day. So I see courage as being present and really taking the action that you need to take, and not really thinking too much about the result. We use NI to already plan and think through the possibilities of the possible results and consequences, right? But when you're taking the action, it's important to be present. Otherwise, you'll be worrying too much or feeling guilty about the past. So number one is creativity. That's through your NI as an INTJ. And competence through practicing and following through on your actions and practicing your craft, whatever it is, it is for you to really, I think, make your contribution to the world, your contribution to your family, to your job, or to your career. So whatever it is that you think about, that you don't feel confident about, you don't feel good about or motivated to do, whether you believe in yourself or believe in your skill, you generally have to take the action to actually start seeing the emotion changing, right? To see the emotion change, you have to take the action first. So it's either through SE, with the power of SE being present in the body, take the action and practice and keep practicing, and your confidence will improve. So confidence is based on competence, right? The more competence you have around a skill, this is different from self-esteem. Self-esteem is your value as a human being. Most people can conflate the two. It confuse self-esteem. Esteem means value, right? Self-esteem means your value of yourself, the way that you see yourself, the value that you put on yourself. As a human being, you're valuable, right? If you don't feel worthy or valuable, then having self-confidence can help your self-esteem. So that's the difference between being and doing. So the doing bit has to do with your skill. So anything that you're practicing, applying, implementing, right, through your auxiliary function, extroverted thinking, TE, it's going to help your FI feeling confident in your own values. So FI is a conviction, values. It's not the whole, I guess, equation, but FI, a part of FI is about values. So in values, there are different values that you have. One of the values that you have is the value of yourself, right? The value you see in you, your self-esteem, the way you value, esteem is value, the way you value yourself. So by implementing your ideas using TE in the real world, right? By being present in your body, doing courage through SE, and implementing your ideas, that creativity you come up with, NI. So creativity is just connecting different ideas in different ways, right? Right now I'm connecting these different ideas using the cognitive function model, right? The cognitive function stack, right? NIT, FI, SE, and using the terms that are generally not associated with cognitive functions, and I put them together in this model so that it's easier to remember, it's easier to practice, so that you know what you're doing. It's like which function are you using, and you recognize what, I guess, whether you're using creativity. So right now I'm using creativity to put together two models, right? It's the same ideas, right? I didn't create these ideas, but I put them together in a different perspective, different way. So it becomes like a new model, right? That's my creativity, that's my NI. Seeing different perspective, mixing them together, bringing them together as one, right? So, and now I'm using that idea in my head and implementing by sharing that through TE, by recording it on a video, right? And I'm doing courage as well, because this is not, as an introvert, I'd rather just learn and learn and keep learning. You know that if you're an INTJ, right? Or an INJ, right? We'd rather be introverted and keep learning because our dominant function is a perception process, perceiving process, right? Introverted intuition. So I'm doing courage, using courage, being present and sharing that with you, right? So that's gonna improve, add to my confidence, the value that I have as FI. It's adding to my value as well. It's adding to my confidence because I'm improving my skill of explaining things as well as having an impact by sharing my idea, right? So the fear that I used to have is it's not perfect yet, right? Because I just came up with it, right? Usually I'll probably leave it for another 2-3 days before I actually feel comfortable sharing. But I find that the more I take it out and just, bumbling through the process of explaining it and making sense without having to wait for the idea to become like fully perfect. And along the way, I might get some feedback to improve on my idea, right? So that is the process I'm explaining to you what I'm doing using the model that I just came up with. So creativity, NI, and competence, which is TE, right? Right now, I'm not that competent yet in explaining like the model that is in my head that I just came up with, but it's gonna improve because I know that, because I'll get some feedback, I get some more ideas. I'll think about different things. I think of different things after the video. There's always, and I always have to be aware of, I think, perfecting the original idea by seeing a different way, adding a different angle, right? So I know that that's an ongoing process and I don't have to wait for it to be perfect. It will never be perfect, right? So I'm taking it out through TE, implementing it, recording on the video, and then like using SE, being present in my body, using my voice, so that's the extroverting process, right? Extroverting, right? The extroverted function T in SE is all about engaging in the outside world, right? In the extroverted world, using what's internal. So NI and FI. So they both work. I think the word I'm looking for is probably they both impact and interact with each other, all these functions. You probably can go back and look at one of the videos that I did on loop, right? So introverted looping and extroverted looping, and then you have the introverted and extroverted looping that I use the term loop very loosely to, I guess, for the context of the ideas that I'm trying to explain. So I guess this is the end of the video. So you have to really improve, to summarize, to really improve your confidence, right? FI, which is not your very developed function for most INTJs. It's very wounded for most INTJs, right? I've done a lot of healing the past year on that function using like really accepting I'm an HSP as well, highly sensitive person. So my FI is super sensitive. So a lot of the, I think, struggle that I have around implementing my ideas is because my FI is not strong enough to take the feedback, because there's a lot of, I think, taking things personally and a lot of attachment to feedback as to what the feedback means about me, right? So I've worked through a lot of that. So now I'm pretty healthy. I have a very healthy FI process. So I can take my ideas out and people don't like it. I don't have any personal attachment to my ideas. They just what came through me that I can use to impact the world, share, make contributions, my own contribution, my creativity, right? So as an INTJ, you know that you have a big vision for yourself, for your family, for the world maybe, right? So to really have an impact on the world through whatever it is that you do, that whatever it is that your vehicle is through which you want to impact the world, you want to make your vision come true, you want to express your values or who you are authentically, right? To make contribution, you really have to master, I guess, using your cognitive functions in a healthy way. So this is one form of healthy way of using your cognitive functions, right? NITE, FISE, by connecting to creativity, competence, confidence, and courage. That's where you get your contribution. That's how you make your contribution. So I hope this is useful. Please let me know if you want me to, I guess, explain or other ideas, right? You want me to talk about things that are related to MBTI, cognitive functions, other types, because I'm only sharing about INTJ because that's what I want to focus on for the moment. And as an INTJ myself, my Enneagram type is 5.6. I'm an SP, subtype SPSO. I guess as a coach, helping people, solving the problem, it's like the past few years, right? Now understanding cognitive functions, understanding myself as an INTJ, I have a new use for my skills, which is coaching INTJs. And I also have a few video online programs coming up, because I find that this is a very powerful combination of understanding the personal development principles that I've been studying and doing. I've been training NLP, different transformational methodologies. So using those models and methodologies and really understanding the cognitive functions and putting them together to help INTJs, I think this is one of the thing that I'm focused on at the moment. So I hope that this video is useful. if you have any feedback or any questions, feel free to comment. There's a link in the description below to join a Facebook group that I'm starting for INTJs only, for INTJs who are growth focused and oriented towards developing themselves, understanding themselves, wanting to do healing, resolving traumas, whatever it is. Because as INTJs, I found that for myself as well. Had a lot of traumas growing up because of I think, struggle with articulating my ideas, struggle with the way that I think. It's very different from, right, we're only about 3% of the population. So it's very rare that people in our family, in our school system, in our environment, it's very rare that people understand our struggles as INTJs or NI dominants, right? So, or even as intuitives. So there's a lot of, I think for most INTJs, that there's a process of healing that they need to go through to really, I guess, like I said, get the FI healthy so that you can implement your ideas through TE. So yeah, and there should be other resources in the description below. And if there's anything else that you want to ask me or you want me to explain, feel free to leave a comment or message me. Yeah. So I'll see you in the next video. All right, take care. Bye-bye.